Get on with the times, bitch. What the fuck? Get on with the times. The fuck are we doing out here? I thought you're learning from Wuthering Waves. You're out here fumbling. And that's the most important thing. So if Endfield is to succeed, it needs to have the same level, if not better, form of devs to play relationship like Wuthering Waves. It didn't take long, but Wuthering Waves finally has some good competition. Dear Diamonds and fellow Diamonds in the Rough, Arknights Endfield's beta test is ongoing right now. I think this is CBT 2 or 3 if I'm not mistaken. The game is more polished than it ever was before in the previous beta test. A lot of creators are giving their thoughts about it, and to those who actually has a key, because for some reason these gacha companies ain't never giving my ass no keys. All jokes aside, I took a look at gameplay and saw other people's opinion on the matter. I deflected their bias, and that's their opinion, and I'm gonna give my opinion on what I've seen, what I've gathered so far, and basically give you the pros and cons of Arknights Endfield as I see right now. And like I said at the start of the video, I shit you not, this is actually has the potential to actually be a competitor for Wuthering Waves, which is freaking insane to say in today's day and age when it comes to gacha games, which in my opinion is not too surprising, because basically Wuthering Waves has now set a new standard. Genshin set a standard, Wuthering Waves improved upon that standard, and now it's Arknights Endfield's duty to further improve on that standard. And so we go. And that's why I'm very optimistic for the future of gacha, me personally. But that's just one man's opinion. I'll keep everything short and simple and to the point as always. Let's get started. Let's start with the good news on what's good about Arknights Endfield. The pros. It's based off the previous Arknight. Basically, if you're already an Arknight player, you will have a lot of familiarity with the characters, the world you're going into, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. You're rewarded for knowing a lot about the universe. I would say that visiting the original Arknight could be a good thing. You can get an idea of the universe of Arknight. Another thing that goes with the previous game is an anime. Arknights actually has an anime where they basically show you how it would look like if the game was an anime, like how the battles were supposed to be, basically in your own headcanon. I actually enjoyed the anime. It's not like an anime where you're supposed to sit tight for every new release episode. This is obviously a promotional item for the game itself, and it's finally time where that anime and basically has a game that better reflects it, like Arknights Endfield. I'm very excited to revisit the anime. I think I have to finish season 2 because I'm at the second part. Yeah, I'm now very much excited to finish that part to better get hyped up and psyched up for the world of Arknights. I think that's a fantastic thing. I don't think any of the games we have had so far has had an anime that go with them. And since these games are anime-based games, seeing how the shit goes and, how their vision on how they want you to perceive and look at the animation and how they would love to make it as polished as possible in the form of anime is possible through the media that is their anime. I hope that made some sense. You know what the devs would love for the animations to do if it wasn't for the restrictions of it being a video game. I hope that makes some sense. Okay, that was what was around the game. Now let's talk about the nitty-gritty, the game. Now, how does it look? Well, again, we're still in the pros. The game looks freaking superb. The graphics, in my opinion, are amazing. At first, I was weirded out by how polished the characters especially look, because they're very different to what we're used to, I feel like, personally. I don't know, when I look at the characters in Arknights Endfield, I'm like, I don't know about that one. They sometimes feel out of place considering the background and everything, but the more I looked at gameplay, the more I kind of got used to them. So give it some time. If you're anybody like me and you look like the characters are somewhat weird, give it some time. It's just that they're too polished. I feel like they're too good looking. A little. I don't know. It's weird to put in words, but it's good. It's good. It's not perfect by any means. I do feel like, in my opinion, Wuthering Waves characters look better than the ones in Arknights. That's just me though. Don't forget, this is still CBT. They still can do a lot more polish of when the game releases. So fingers crossed, but we'll see. Maybe that's just me already used to certain graphics and not used to the new graphics. Maybe I'll have a better appreciation to the new graphics once I have my hands on the game. Maybe. Because so far, my perception is like yours as a viewer. I'm just looking at the shit and giving my opinion on the thing. Now, the graphics is not the only thing on which they improved on compared to the previous game. Now, of course, we can't go about this without comparing it to the previous games. Like the previous games, Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves are basically the standard. Arknights Endfield, like I said before, have to improve upon that standard, whether it's through the dev to player relationship, through gacha, or through the gameplay. Okay, that's basically their mission. They have to respect this. If they're not, they're in serious trouble. Now, let's get into the things they've improved upon. The first thing they have is like a tower defense system where it's not like as it sounds, it's basically you have the ability, just like you have gadgets in Wuthering Waves, like you have the grapple, etc., the sensor. Well, in here you have machine guns. You can literally put a huge ass gun in the field and it helps you. Like it's shooting the enemies. You can literally just sit there going, huh, war. I think that's pretty good. I think they have a lot to explore when it comes to this particular system. They can have maybe summons like they did in Wuthering Waves now. Well, it's not Wuthering Waves, sorry. They can have summons like they have now in Honkai Star Rail, right? They could do stuff like that, just like you summon echoes for a brief period. Maybe in to Endfield, you can actually summon a monster that just helps you out, like it keeps fighting. Like I think the summon mechanic and putting something into the field to support you has a lot of ceilings that they can explore. Like I'm looking forward to the future of this system, in my opinion. Another thing that I have loved in Wuthering Waves, but the devs just crashed out for some reason, but Arknights Endfield was like, hey, they done fucked up. Copy. They done messed up. We're gonna end these people's whole career. They're about to do a lot of listening now. So basically what they did is they took the finishing move. Now, if you remember in Wuthering Waves, at the start of the game, you find the Crownless. I think it was the Crownless. And you fight it as the Rover. You can only fight it as the Rover. And when you swing a bunch of times, I think when you break his resistance and stuff, there's a new ability where I think you could press a button where the Rover goes like all the way to the sky and just drops with like a powerful blow. That's a finisher. Like it's called a finishing move. Now, this has obviously got scratched out because I think Wuthering Waves maybe was scared in how they had to balance it out. Maybe that's a lot more work. So they kind of took the lazy approach when it comes to that particular feature. Endfield is obviously, they have to do something different. They have to improve from Wuthering Waves. So Wuthering Waves went the Genshin route, and Arknights Endfield right now is going the Wuthering Waves route, if that makes any sense, in terms of enthusiasms of we want to take over the market when it comes to certain features. So when it comes to the finishing move, this is now presence in Endfield, and I can't wait for it to see how much they can explore this system. Now, it could be a make or break type of system, but we'll see. We'll let them cook. Another system that I'm very excited about coming next is the combo system. Now, something that I also have to reference is in Arknights Endfield, you know how you have 4 characters or 3 characters in your roster, and like you keep switching between each one, like in Genshin Impact, well, and Wuthering Waves. Well, in Arknights Endfield, you can switch between them, but they're always on the field. Like you can always see them. They're always doing something. I think they're auto-attacking or something from what I've seen so far. I could be wrong. But when you switch to them, you can use their abilities, their ultimates, etc., etc. So basically, your characters are always visible, which is amazing in my opinion. Because, like, say for example, a character like Bennett from Genshin Impact. Big Bennett, you see him for like 2-3 seconds. Like he does his E, you ult, you wait a little bit to grab the particles. That's all Bennett wrote. You're not gonna see Bennett's again. Ching Chu is somewhat worse. You ult, use the E. You don't even let bro come back to the ground. Like bro is still in the sky. You've already switched. That's all you see of Chinchu. So not only can you always enjoy seeing your characters more often than not, on top of that, they have a combo move which your character sometimes there's like a quick time event from what I've observed where you press a button and your character that's you can see in the field is auto attack, etc. Like they will take a swing at the enemy, which I find is very, very amazing. This reminds me of the Dream Link system Wuthering Waves have, which, like I said, like when that system was introduced, like please use it. Like use it. This is good. Like this enables Wuthering Waves to set itself apart from Genshin Impact more and more because Wuwa so far is still going off the Genshin Impact blueprint. Endfield now is using the Wuwa blueprint to set itself apart. You see, I feel like Wuwa is kind of fumbling, in my opinion. Because like, when I see what Endfield is doing right now, I'm looking at the shortcomings of Wuthering Waves, which is a video, of course, I have to talk about, of course. No hate, of course, I'm loving Wuthering Waves. Don't misunderstand me, please. But I'm saying, like, they kind of got lazy when it comes to certain things. Like, now they're at the finish line, you can see they're running out of steam, and I'm like, come on, push, 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 is what I'm trying to do. I want to give them motivation, okay? Just so that we're clear, because I don't want no Kuro bots pulling up saying, oh, you hate this game now. Shut up, okay? I'm just pointing out the facts, all right? So yeah, the combo system in Endfield is looking fantastic. I can't wait, again, just like the finisher and the combo system, I can't wait to see how much they can do with it. I feel like there's so much they can do with it. I'm excited for it, personally. Now, of course, the one thing that I don't like personally, but I know some bald fuck is probably going to enjoy is the base system. You basically you have like this space where you can create your own thing. Like you make buildings, you make lands. I think it's important to the world of Endfield. So my opinion, I hope that it's not as important and that their wars aren't as interesting. Like, I don't want to feel forced to do that shit. But as long as I can get away with putting whatever, just like in the cheap pot of Genshin where I just put a bunch of rocks. That's literally what I did. I just put a bunch of rocks, filled up the points. I can grab the weekly rewards off that. As long as it's something like that, I'm good. Please don't force this base system on me, is what I'm saying. It's optional. It's there. If anybody want to enjoy it, Baldy, you can enjoy it. But please don't make it a thing that we're all forced to freaking use, okay? Please do that. And that is so far the big titles I've noticed for Arknights Endfield. Of course, there's ultimates, the yada 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 we're all used to when it comes to the Genshin standard. Now, let's talk about the cons. Now, the thing that will make Endfield a fucking failure if it remains the same. And I mean this genuinely. Because you'll notice we still haven't talked about one very important thing. The gacha system. Now, they kind of took Wuthering Waves stuff. They copied their whole fucking flow when it came to all the pros, like I said. Now, this is like straight up Wuthering Waves vibes, and you can see they were systems that Wuthering Waves have already introduced. They just didn't expand on, which they took and implemented. How the fuck do you not implement and improve further on the Wuthering Waves gacha system? Okay, let's talk about it.
Well, here I go.
The gacha system right now in Arknights Endfield, as the beta is right now, in times of recording this video, for lack of better words, is complete
ass, dog.
Now, let's go over each banner, and each banner has a certain system to it. Instead of taking Wuthering Waves improvement on the weapon banner, they're instead backtracking to Genshin, making both systems different, and making the weapon banner, in my opinion, worse than...
Had me very mad.
Now first, let's get you up to speed in the gacha system. How does it work? Now let's look at the character banner. The character banner is simple. You need 500 Ouroboros, Orundum, to one pull, right? Ouroboros are basically your premium currency. There's Primo Gems, there's Stellar Jades. 10 pull is, of course, 5,000 of said Ouroboros, which I like how it's a round number. Yeah, I'll give them as much. I like how this is a round number. 500, not 160. I don't know why they always have that number. I'm sure it's some Chinese mathematics that I will never understand because my ass is not Asian, so... Now, contrary to what we're used to, there is something called a 6-star. Now, what we're used to in the standard Genshin, Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star, or what have you, is 5 stars are the best, 4 stars are second best, right? Now, in Arknights Endfield, 6 stars are the equivalent of the 5 stars we know, and 5 stars are the equivalent of the 4 stars we know. I hope that makes sense. So 6 stars are the chase, the shit you want, that you always want to collect. 5 stars are 4 stars. Like, you get that shit every 10 pull. All right, you get a 5-star every 10 pull. Oh my god, imagine that shit in Wuthering Waves and Genshin and shit. Oh no, you see gold every 10 pull, bitch. Oh my god. Which tells me personally, this is some form of predatory tactic to keep people pulling. Because if I always see gold and I'm coming in with the Wuthering Waves and Genshin mentality, where I'm always seeing gold, which means every temple I'm like, oh, it's gold, but will it turn orange? Will it turn orange? Right, that type of shit. I don't know. I feel like this is pretty devious. I don't know, I'm just calling it out. I know it's a nitpick. I know it's a detail, but the devil is in the details with these gacha games and how they play on your brain and subconsciously try to get you to keep pulling, okay? I'm just pointing out some things, please. Now, the 6 stars have of course, the legendary minus 1% chance to get it, which is 0.8%, and a 5-star, you have 8% chance. Now, of course, you guarantee the 5-star every single 10 pull, right? As soon as you reach the number 10, if you didn't get a 5-star, you are guaranteed one. Again, the 5-star is the equivalent of the 4 stars that we're used to in Wuthering Waves and Genshin. Okay, don't get lost in the sauce. I know it gets confusing because you're used to the previous system. There's always the 50-50 chance. They're keeping the 50-50 chance, which I think it's time the 50-50 chance goes away. Is it just me? I feel like the 50-50 system is... That's it. Like, why is it still here? Like, can we just do it like Wuthering Waves, which you have a 100% chance, have a 100% chance? You know what? We'll save this topic for another time. Like I said before, you are guaranteed a 5-star, which is the 4-star equivalent of what we're used to in every temple. After 65 rolls, there's the legendary Soft Pity, which goes from 0.8% up to 5% per roll. So the more you climb on Soft Pity, the higher your chances to hit the 6-star. And after 80 rolls is Hard Pity. You are now forced to get that 6-star. Now, of course, it's a 50-50. Now, if you lose the 50-50, fret not, my dear friend. After 40 more pulls, you don't have to reach Pity again. Hard Pity, the new Hard Pity, if you lose the 50-50, there's a new system that activates. Now, in this new system, only 40 pulls will grant you the limited character, right? So losing the 50-50 has never been as bad. Now, why the 50-50 still exists is still up to debate, but you can just keep pushing with 40 pulls and you obtain the character you want. Now, if you lose the 50-50, this is always, of course, good. If, of course, you're a winner like me.
You don't have those issues.
And if you thought this is as good as it looks like, I have some news for you.
Now here's the shit that fuck with me.
And I think the majority of the community. This system, if you are to lose the 50-50, this loss of 50-50, this guarantee, does not carry over to the next banner. What do I mean? Say, for example, I say, you know what? I like this character. I'm just going to try to get it. If I lose, it's okay. I didn't want it that bad. So I'll just wait for the next character. I think it's as exciting, right? Or maybe I'm limited with resources. I just want to give it a shot, right? I just want a new character to just have fun with. So I'm gonna give this a shot. And if I don't get it, it's okay. I'll just save up some and then the next character is the one I'll end up getting. Well, you gotta try that 50-50 again. Because the only guarantee system they have is if you keep pushing that pulling. Like, you have to keep pulling. Like, okay, so you go from 80, you gotta keep jumping all the way to 120, adding those 40 extra pulls for you to be able to take advantage of this system. Because if you don't use those 40 pulls, well, you're gonna miss out on this new system and on that guarantee. Basically,
See where I'm going with it?
it's kind of like making you FOMO a bit on the, well, there's this sunk cost fallacy that activates. I would definitely put this as a sunk cost fallacy strategy where, well, I put all these 80 pulls and now I finally activated the system. Like, I gotta take it. Like, I gotta take it. Like, I've come this far. I'm literally gonna fuck up my account. And in my opinion, this is so predatory. How in the fuck is we have a system that could have been better? Because, okay, if we remove this is better than the predecessors. So you lose a 50-50, you salty. Nothing is worse than losing a 50-50 in a gacha game. Nothing is. They say, you know what, cool down. Your next character, 40 pulls. Easy. Easy, man. Can you imagine? You don't even have to reach fucking Pity. Dude, that would be bonkers. Wuwa could never at that point. But they had to come and ruin it. Like, you had it. It's a good system. Just make sure this Pity carries over, okay? If I lose, my guarantee carries over. Pity carries over. Everything carries over. Carrying over is the new standard. Get on with the times, bitch. What the fuck? Get on with the times. The fuck are we doing out here? I thought you're learning from Wuthering Waves. You're out here fumbling.
Yep. Y'all done fucked up today.
Sorry, I had to pop off because these gacha companies think we stupid. Like, we see you. We know what you're trying to do. We know why the colors are like that. We know what the fuck you're trying to do to us here. But work with us. Okay, I'll let you lie to me. I'll take the lie. But work with me. Like, goddamn, what the fuck is what is this? Oh, and if you thought this is bad, wait until I tell you about the weapon banner.
The shit gets worse.
Weapon banners, Wuthering Waves excluded, are notoriously known for being a bad time. Like, when you see a weapon banner, you're like, oh, I have to get the weapon now. That's literally what the weapon banner is. And if you thought this was confusing, well, let's get on to the weapon banner. Now, for the weapon banner, when it comes to the 6 stars, well, you have a 4% chance to get it before pity. Like if it's an early, you have a 4% chance to get it before pity. A system where you get the featured thing beyond 1%? Nothing could. Nothing could. None of the games we know so far could. That's it. Best devs. And for 5 stars, you have a 15% chance, which is basically double of the character banner. And for the 6 stars, well, it's basically quadruple almost, if not more. Now, just like Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, you have a 75% chance and a 25% chance. They operate in that system. Now, you have a 75% chance to not get what you want and a 25% chance to get what you want. Meaning, they took HSR and ZZZ system for the weapon. They flipped it on its head. How, Sway? What the fuck you mean? Are you fucking kidding me? We got motherfuckers like Woo giving you 100%. SSR just basically is like that middle ground from Genshin. They're like, oh, you know what? We had that 75-25, you know? At least it's better than Genshin. Woo was like, nah, fuck that, 100%. You're supposed to go beyond the new guy, which is Wuthering Waves. They have 100%. Like, the best thing you can do is, like, keep it 100%, and then, like, you make it easier. Like, you have a small amount of pulls needed to get the freaking weapon. But they did. What are you complaining about? Well, my fellow crying baby, let's talk about how much you need to do a 10 pull within the weapon banner. Now, the weapon banner costs more for their 10 pull than the character banner. It's more pricey to do a 10 pull here than there. The pity, though, starts at 40. Now, you have a 40 pity. That's where it starts. And then you hard cap at hard pity in 80, which is good. Which is good. Why did it have to be 25-75 though? Oh, and by the way, you know that pity? You know, if you lost that 25-75, which you have more chances to lose than to win, by the way. Like, how the fuck? If you happen to lose that, you guessed it. Yep. That shit does not carry over.
Again.
That shit does not. Okay, so you're telling me I have a 75% chance to lose. I already don't pull for weapon banners at all. The only time I pull for weapon banners is when, like, there's that patch reset that Wuthering Waves does. Like, they give you that 7. They give you those 7 pulls. That's when I pull on weapon banners. Typically, I never pull. Or I do, like, that random 10 pull when I feel like I have a lot of resources. You know, I'm not looking forward to the next patch characters. I'm just sitting here with all these asterisks. I'm like, they're burning a hole in my pocket. I throw a 10 pull the weapon banner. You never know. Here, you can't do that. Oh, and by the way, which reminds me, you can't do a single pull in the weapon banners. Get that out of the way. It can only be 10s, which is good if you have a gambling addiction. And then again, it's bad because if you have a gambling addiction, you will make an excuse and whatever it takes to keep doing 10 pulls in order to keep fueling your gacha addiction, which, dude, like, they're so devious, and the way they're preying on the weak here with this system is insane. Like, it's pretty crazy in the way they're going about it. It's literally tilting. Like, they seriously think we can't see them. Like, they think we're stupid, and this is definitely made for the weak and for the people that don't understand things. And if the only thing they know is Arknights Endfield and they don't know gacha, this is horrible. Like, this is freaking horrible. Like, you're not even respecting the fucking standard? Like, holy shit, Honkai Star Rail has a better gacha system in the weapon banner than you? Even in the character banner? What the fuck? Oh, don't even get me started to the future power creep of all this shit. Like, let's not even get that conversation started. And how we gotta keep being pressured into pulling in this shit. Like, let's not even go there yet. This system is unacceptable. This is something that tells me you looked at some shit, you thought if you do it better than some guys that are getting praised, you can get away with the greedy shit. That's what it tells me. But we see you. This is ridiculous. This is not okay. I don't know what the fuck you guys thought you were cooking, but you burned the damn kitchen. Fix this shit. Just make, okay, here's my suggestion. Here's easy suggestion. An easy suggestion. 75-25 for the character banner. Change the 50-50 system. Be the first. People are already getting tired of 50-50 systems. Be the first. 100% for the weapon banner. Easy. There is no 75-25. That shit is over with. Forget it. Wuwa changed that. Forget it. It's over. Doesn't work anymore. It don't work. That shit does not work. Character banner, 75-25. Easy. Easy. Your game, you will have curl bots crying. My ass is moving to Arknights Endfield immediately. You think I have loyalties in these streets? I ain't got loyalty for no game, man. I'm there with whoever treats me better. That's it. I'm a simple man. That's it. And I encourage players to do the same. These companies don't give a fuck about you. It's that simple, man. You think they care? No, they don't. And nor should you. Do what needs to be done. Just implement it like this. It would be an easy fix. It will definitely be the start of something new. And believe you me when I say, if I see 75-25, it will give me a better incentive to keep trying to get copies because I have a higher chance to win than to lose. So, an easier way to get things can actually make people spend more. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The system has changed. People want convenience and ease now. You can't just keep fucking your players and get money. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, things changed. Yeah, players can compare one thing with another now. It's oops. And there's more shit in the future, by the way. So if you want to compete with the shit that's coming, like Ananta and stuff, yeah, get your head out of your ass, bro. Get your head out of your ass. Sorry, I had to pop off there because I'm excited for this game. I am. I know a lot about Arknights Endfield. A good friend of mine has always been trying to get me into Arknights. I didn't enjoy the way the first game plays, but like Endfield like is exactly a game that I would love to play. I want this game to succeed. I want it to be good. I want to enjoy that fucking game, and I want to see myself playing that game for years to come because these games are live service games, meaning they want you to keep playing for years. So what the fuck is this? Fix it. We talked about the pros and cons, so let's talk about what I would love to see. Now, of course, there's still tweaks to be done, so everything is still subject to change, which is why I'm giving off as much emotion because please don't fumble this bag because I would, I just said that anyway. Fix the gacha system, just improve on the already existing standard. Like I suggested, you could do 75-25 for characters. That will shock and create a ripple effect that is unparalleled. That's an earthquake for the entire gacha top 4 games. You can do that, and definitely weapon banner 100%, like that simple thing. Especially now because, okay, think about it. Even with the gacha system, we had Genshin, we had SSR that improved their gacha system upon Genshin through the weapon banner, and then Wuwa did the very same thing. They literally copied SSR. They was like, okay, you know what did SSR do? And it started this whole Genshin could never meme. Oh, in their gacha, they just decided to take the weapon system and did 75-25. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make that shit 100%. People rarely pull for weapon banners anyway. The majority pulls only for characters, the minority pulls for characters and weapons because they can afford that shit. Free-to-plays, I'm talking about free-to-plays, of course. Free-to-plays, typically, they just get the characters and they make do with a 4-star and they keep playing because they have to keep saving resources for future units because they understand that power creep is a thing, so which means prioritizing characters offers always more value to your account than a weapon, because it can always make do with a 4-star option. Just do something like that, or make, for example, and keep, for example, the 40 pity system in the weapon banner. That's amazing. Even players like myself who are like always iffy about the weapon banner can look at this system and go, well, you know what? If I just reach 40, I have a good chance. Now, if I go 50, 60, I can get it somewhat early. I have a good chance. Let me give it a shot, right? You know, you're telling me there's a chance. Isn't that how you guys give us gambling addictions? I'm literally giving you how to trick me. Just implement it. And most importantly, my hope is free shit. Wuwa has set a standard. But they did that just because they had to compensate us for all the rocky start. Now, like I said before, that rocky start was the perfect opportunity for Kuro Games to cook up. Does anybody remember that cocky start? Me neither. I told you that was the perfect thing for those guys to get their head in the game and cook up, which they did. Look at Rena Sita, look at people, everybody's excited. I had a hard time clicking off Wuthering Waves for 2 days. Like I missed the days of taking a game and feeling that my ass is stuck to the chair, like I can't move, like I don't even want to go to the bathroom or eat anymore. All I want to do is keep playing. It's amazing. And those were guys that were said that, oh, this game failed. A lot of people just dropped it already, but look at them now. But again, you don't have to give us free shit just for the sake of compensation. The why I fucks with Wuthering Waves and why I love Wuthering Waves is not the game, because the game is good. Don't misunderstand. The game is good. Like I said, I couldn't take my ass off the chair for 2.0. But the fact still remains, this is still Genshin 2.0. Like, I just took Genshin Impact. I kept looking at it. I was like, man, you just suck right now. Wuthering Waves came in. I was like, oh my God, thank you. You filled the hole in my life now. Because I had to drop Genshin. I didn't enjoy Genshin as much. It left this void in my life. Now, Wuthering Waves filled that void. That's good, right? That's good. Things can always be improved upon. Endfield is improving upon Wuthering Waves. If Endfield keeps cooking like the way they're doing in their game, there's a good chance Endfield is gonna take over Wuthering Waves. Now, of course, I have a hard time believing that will be the case because, well, contrary to Genshin Impact, Wuwa listens. There will be resistance. Wuwa will step their game up even more, which is why I'm excited for Enfield's release for Wuthering Waves, because Wuthering Waves is gonna look at that and go, well, we gotta listen up more and more and more. So we're looking for better improvements in the dev to player relationship in Wuthering Waves, in my opinion. And I would hope that Endfield has the same type of relationship with us. Because what, again, like I wanted to try to say, sorry, I kind of like went off rail there, is Wuthering Waves' best element is definitely the devs and to player relationship. That's definitely the thing that makes me comfortable in Wuthering Waves. I'm like, what ruined Genshin Impact? The devs. What makes me believe that this game won't fail like Genshin Impact? This could just be a repeat of the past. What makes Wuthering Waves so special? Yeah, you're more flashy and shit, but so what? You might end up the same shit. Genshin was flashy and amazing too back in the day. Well, the devs listen. And that's the most important thing. So if Endfield is to succeed, it needs to have the same level, if not better, form of devs to player relationship like Wuthering Waves. This is the new standard. Wuthering Waves has set new standards, and players are awake. Players are finally more aware. It's time. Oh, which means if Arknights Endfield is to take my advice and do this player to dev relationship better than Kuro Games ears will have to grow even bigger and bigger now in order to compete. Meaning, this will be Kuro Games.
Bro, can hear the colors. Bro, thinks mute is too loud. Bro, can hear sign language. Bro, invented, hear me out. Bro, heard the joke before somebody said it. Bro, heard the news before they even spread it. Bro, it's the definition of I'm all ears. Bro, move out of the way, I can't hear. Bro, always hears you loud and clear. We don't even have to let bro near. Bro, listening, bro takes his ear wax out with the spoon.
So those are my hopes for Arknights Endfield. Sorry, I went off. I hate when I get too emotional, but this pissed me the hell off. It just did. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about what you think about Arknights Endfield and everything you heard. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments below what you're precisely excited about. And yeah, let's get this conversation going. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.